Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Welcome to Bolivar Live's Vacation Rental Preview, where each week we're going to take you inside a home. We're going to show you inside, outside, where it's located, the view from the home, and the amenities the home has to offer. Let's check out this week's home and see what it has to offer, whether you're here for a weekend getaway or a week-long vacation. Follow me. Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Well, it's time for Vacation Rental Preview, a show we do every Thursday at 10:30 where we showcase inside and out, but today's a little different. Have George Scruggs with Bolivar Vacations and Beth Terminella with 110 Realty Group. And we're going to talk a little bit about everything. We're going to talk about the market. We're going to talk about events so that you can go ahead and make your reservations. And remember, you can see Bolivar Live anytime on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@BolivarLive or Bolivar Live TV now on Roku, Amazon Fire, and BolivarLiveTV.com. George, we made it through the winter. We're ramping up.
Yes, sir.
It's February. We're ramping up for the season. What's the rentals doing? What's the properties doing down here? What are you seeing as far as availability and pricing?
Well, David, I'll tell you, there's been a lot of new Airbnb short-term rentals being built down here the last few years. There's a lot of houses down here. They're new. They're beautiful. The amenity wars have started. Everybody's bringing new amenities to their houses because there's so much, frankly, oversupply right now. Rates have come down to pre-COVID levels. If you came down here the last few years and you thought, wow, that got expensive, well, it's cheap now. If you want a bargain vacation, come to Bolivar. We've got gorgeous houses right on the water for a fraction of what they used to rent for. Capitalism at work. We've got oversupply. We need customers. Come on down. We got a deal for you.
You said prices are down. Typically, what's in a ballpark on a beach? You've got a lot of beachfront homes.
We do. We specialize in beachfront.
What's a beachfront, say that sleeps 20 people? What are you looking at estimate on something like that?
Oh gosh, I mean, in season you'll see a house like that rent for $1,200 to $1,500 a night.
Because of the number of people that can sleep there.
Right. Which we break that down per person. That's really, it sounds like a lot, but you put 20, 25 people in there and it's not so much per person. In the spring you're looking at less than half that. Right now it's about a third of that.
That's actually cheaper, and this is what I've always told people when they call here. You can go stay in Rockport or Corpus or Galveston, or you can come here and rent a house and you'll save money on hotel costs, and what you're able to do because you can cook at your house. The linens are there. It's more private. And so I've always said it's actually cheaper to rent a house than it is to go stay in Galveston. And here you can drive on the beach.
Oh, certainly. Well, I think, too, when you're on vacation, having your own kitchen where you don't have to go out and stand in line in a restaurant, when you're trying to, in a hotel and you're trying to eat 3 meals a day with the kids, what a beatdown. I mean, that's half your day just trying to get the kids fed. Well, when you got your own house, they're eating some Fruit Loops, you're on the deck with a cup of coffee watching the waves come in. It's just a whole different vibe than being in a hotel. And our houses typically, depends on the size of the house, but if you've got 2 families in there versus 2 or 3 hotel rooms, it's the same money. You just have a kitchen and you have a washer dryer and you have a big living room and the privacy and of course we're beachfront too.
Yeah.
I have a question about that, if you don't mind. Okay, so, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned the amenity wars. So if you had some extra amenities, what would that rate look like in the future? Because I know you're working on some projects with that.
I have some new houses we're building right now, and we're enclosing the underside of the house to put a big game room down there, an extra living room, with more of an outdoor feel, roll-up garage doors. We'll have putt-putt in the backyard, big fire pit, pools. Yeah, those are the things that I would bet there's probably, I'm going to say at least 10 times as many pools down here now as there was 3 years ago. It's getting to be more. It used to be extremely unusual to see one, and now I'm not going to say they're common, but there's a lot of them down here.
And they're getting away from the hot tubs, getting into the pools.
I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to say there's 100 times as many hot tubs as there used to be. There's lots of hot tubs down here now, which is really nice. In the early spring when it's still cool. I don't see the point in July myself, but
do you think they'll rent more, or do you think you'll rent for more? I mean, do you think your occupancy rate will be higher because of the amenities?
I don't see the rates going up that much. I mean, a premium house with amenities is always going to rent for more than one that doesn't. But I think that there's so much pressure right now because there's so many houses down here for rent. That's really pushed the rates down, and people are amenitizing homeowners are amenitizing to attract guests.
Good.
So it's a great deal for the consumer.
It's an added incentive.
It's actually just raw capitalism at work. There's a bunch of houses down here. People need to get them rented. They're cutting rates to bring people in, and you should take advantage of that. It's a great opportunity to get a great house.
You know, we're in February. Valentine's Day's a week away, I think. But we've got a lot of events, and a lot of these events we really book up down here. And so let's talk about the events a little bit, because now's when you really need to plan for your spring break, your Mother's Day weekend, your July 4th,
Absolutely.
your Labor's Day weekend, Memorial Day, all those weekends.
And I would say right now that if you haven't booked a spring break house yet and you want to come down here, you better get on it really quick. There's not going to be many of them left.
Yeah.
Not the better ones. So I would move on that quickly. And Beth, were you going to run through the
Well, I just have a list.
She has a list of all the events this year. This
Okay,
spring.
so like in February here, some of the celebrations that we have. For February, you have Mardi Gras weekend,
that's
which is
fun.
a great fun weekend. You have
And that's a
parade.
family weekend.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah, it's not Mardi Gras in New Orleans. It's fun down here. There's a golf cart parade. Everybody's got specials. It's a really good time.
Yeah.
And you can also go across to the Galveston parade too, which is big and fun. So
Yeah, and a lot of the businesses have,
Live music,
live
crawfish.
music. It's a party. Yeah.
live music and crawfish. Heck yeah.
And then Valentine's Day weekend. I mean, that's another great event down here. A lot of the restaurants have specials. So we have Showcase of Homes March 2nd.
Yep.
So
The second annual, or
Yes.
second biannual, because we do it twice a year.
Right, and that's March 2nd. And then you have spring break. And like George just said, be sure to come down and get your house booked now because they're booking up. Then Easter weekend, and you can talk about that, David.
If you haven't seen, we started off with the sunrise service on the beach, and it just got so big, and the logistics for it, with the tide coming in and out that time of year, it seems like we always got flooded or close to it, that they moved it to Camp Margaritaville. And they did it last year because the stage got flooded, the rain hit, but it turned out phenomenal. And if you haven't been here for Easter sunrise service, it's unbelievable. The beach was packed last year. The turf field was packed. The sound was perfect. And so it's really, and the community really comes together on that. You see people that you may not see at church. You see families you haven't seen, and I've always said Easter weekend is the big kickoff down here for steady traffic. When Thursdays people start trickling in, Fridays they get here if they're here for the weekend, and that seems like Easter's really been the kickoff for that. They get a warm up with Martin Luther King a little bit weekend in January, then Mardi Gras in February. Really brings the people in, and by Easter weekend we're in full swing, and this year it's a little early, and so the last Sunday in March, but
it's pretty special, that sunrise.
Yeah,
service. I mean every sunrise on Bolivar is special, but
it's a community church.
Good.
It's the community churches that put it together, and all the money raised from that goes to the scholarship fund for between the churches, and so it's really a great event.
Nice. Okay, so after that you have the watermelon crawl, which is a
April
big deal
20th.
down here.
Okay, I've not been to the watermelon crawl. Tell us about that.
It's the Peninsula Sports Park fundraiser.
Okay.
And
that's a good cause.
It's oriented around kids. They didn't do it last year. In fact, it might have sat out a couple years, but it's 30, 40, 50 golf carts, and they start on one end of the peninsula and work their way down the peninsula, and I don't know which direction they're going this year, but it's a way. They have games at each stop, and it's really fun.
And I worked
you can
that.
run. Yeah, you worked it last year, I think.
I didn't go on it, but I was meeting people, and they were coming in from everywhere.
Really?
So
Yeah.
if you're going to come down and be a part of that, that's
And it's a
come
good way to
visit
raise
And if you
Bolivar
want to do
for
that,
the-
it'd be a really good idea to book a golf cart early.
Yes, yes. And then, you'll.
Go ahead.
Okay, the next weekend is Crab Festival weekend.
Mother's Day weekend.
Mother's Day weekend. So that's, you want to
Huge.
talk about what we're going to do? Oh,
Go ahead, Beth.
okay,
Tell
so George and I have partnered together, and we're going to have a hospitality suite room type thing at Crab Festival to invite all of your guests to come over and see us there. We'll have specials for you while you're there, and if you're a guest there, you can you have free minutes. And what else are we planning on over there?
Food.
No, it's on Bolivar. There's free beer too. There's the gumbo cook-off that day. There's music, lots of bands, lots of music. It's a really good time. Crab Fest is probably the unique festival down here. It's a big one. Hopefully the weather's great. Usually is. It's a really fun time. It's a really fun time to really experience the local flavor of Bolivar. Bolivar is a pretty special place, and a lot of times you don't see it. We just come to the beach, and maybe you don't have time to get to the restaurants or whatever. It's a fun time to come down and be part of the community and be part of what Bolivar's all about. So we're excited to be part of that and have our own sponsored spot down there.
You can go to the Crab Fest when the gates open at 10 o'clock and roll out at midnight at the end of the festival and never leave. You've got food, you've got shopping, bring your lawn chair so you can relax. They have shade there. They've got food, whether it's a soft serve ice cream cone or boiled crabs or boiled crawfish or chicken on a stick or sausage on a stick, you can get it there. Some good carny food too, and they've got a root beer vendor there that just makes the best iced tea I've ever had.
But you don't have to worry about your lawn chair or the shade because we will have our own hospitality suite.
If you're invited, though.
Well, if you're in one of George's houses.
Right.
Well, yeah, go to BolivarVacations.com, rent you a house.
For Mother's Day
and we'll
weekend.
treat you like a VIP down there.
Yeah. Roll out the red carpet for you. So after that, you have the golf cart poker run, which
That's in August.
I've never. What is that?
We've got Memorial Day.
Oh yeah.
It's a
talk
big
about
weekend, and the kickoff to summer, and then we've got 4th of July. That whole week, that's really the peak. Because when we get to 4th of July, we are going up as far as the number of people down here. And then once we get to 4th of July, you start seeing maybe some more availabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, prices don't come down unless they've changed it until Labor Day.
It's peak season. They're not going to be discounted a lot in July. So that's the point of this show, is to say this spring, rates are really low, and it's a good time to get a good value on a house. If you've never stayed beachfront before, this is the year to do it.
There's not that many people down here. You can walk the beach in the mornings or sit on your deck in the mornings.
Yeah.
It's cool out, especially this morning. We just got a front. But with a beachfront home, you can still sit on the front of a beach house.
Oh yeah.
When we have a front and it's nice.
I'll tell you what, a beachfront house is the best place to be reined in anywhere in the world. Because even you just sit in the living room looking out the window at the ocean is still a nice day. It's a better day than being at home.
And then
I want to mention too. You said something there, but if you haven't been down here in a while, it used to be really hard to get something to eat here in the summer. The lines were terrible. There weren't many restaurants here.
We've doubled seating.
Yeah, we've nearly doubled the size of the restaurant seating on the peninsula now. There's food trucks out. There's numerous new restaurants, and they're very good. The food down here is just level up from where it used to be 3-4 years ago. It's so much good food down here now. The crawfish, the oysters.
Shrimp.
The shrimp, the steaks.
It's a restaurants.
It's a delicious place to vacation.
Serve locally sourced.
Absolutely.
I know Jose's and Stingery does. I can't speak for the other ones, but Brad and I have been doing some shows on that, and the crabs, and so
the oysters. Oh my gosh.
yeah. Right now, we just finishing up oyster
and the fresh
season.
fish too. That was something that a few years ago you came down here and ordered fish. It was to be catfish.
Yeah.
When you're on the ocean, but everybody stepped up their game now. If you want some snapper, you want some redfish. It's all the restaurants down here have that now, and it's all fresh and it's delicious. I had a redfish punch train night before last.
Must have been
So good.
Something that's near and dear to my heart that has really stepped up the game here is shopping. I mean, there's such great shops down here. So, ladies, if you want to come down here and go shopping, there's plenty of choices to go to, and really, they've stepped up their game. There's I don't know how many more shops we have now.
And Latitude just opened back up.
Yeah,
Uh,
so from one end to the next.
Yeah, you've got some artists too, like the Tiki Man, and then in a lot of the boutiques or shops and stores, they carry some of the local artists like photography and stuff
And
like that.
Anastasia over at
Yeah.
Crystal Beach Decor and more, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, lots of great shopping. So, ladies.
You can
Come on
shop
there.
down here,
Yeah,
and make
Well,
it a girls'
I
weekend.
mean,
out.
there's so much more to do down here. I mean, there's, you can rent jet skis now. There's a sailboat charter. There's a escape
Parasailing.
room. There's parasailing.
Parasail,
Yeah.
yeah.
All that stuff down there that just wasn't, a few years ago wasn't here. You'd had to go to Galveston to do that sort of thing. So anyway, that's down here now.
Cool.
You can get your beachfront house. You can enjoy the deck. You can enjoy the beach. You got lots of stuff to do in town. If the kids get bored with that, it's a great time to come to Bolivar.
Yeah. So
Then after the rig run?
we've got the rig run in August. We've
Yeah.
got the Port Bolivar cook-off. That's usually around August. And you can go to our website at BolivarPeninsulaTexas.com. Right, we should have just about everything up since it's February through the end of the year. There may be some things in November and December we don't have, but we usually keep up and try and get 5 or 6 months ahead on stuff. And so if you have any questions about something going on, or if you're looking for live music, we also have the live music calendar. A lot of people follow bands, and I've talked to some people that came down for a weekend because a certain band was playing down here. So
That's another thing. There's so many more music venues down there than there used to be. There's live music down here just all the time.
All the time,
in
yeah.
multiple locations.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, well, we're going to cut this one. We've had the extended edition today. Remember, we do Bolivar
sorry.
Live Vacation Rental Preview every Thursday at 10:30, where typically we're looking inside, outside, showing the amenities and the view from a local vacation rental here. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye.